What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you exactly how you can start your own Amazon FBA business from scratch. Now this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial. There will be a link in the description for you to go download a PDF where you can go follow along with what I'm teaching. But I'm going to jump on my computer. I have a kind of checklist that you guys can follow. We'll go through. I'll show you how to do everything on my screen. So let's jump right in and I'll show you guys. All right, guys. So what is the first step when it comes to starting an Amazon business? The first step is you need to have an actual business. Now, this scares a lot of people, but there's different types. You can be a sole proprietor, which is the simplest, costs no money to start, very easy. You can do it online. You can start an LLC, which is what I recommend, what I personally do. And you can use a website like LegalZoom. You just go in, you fill in your information, and it's pretty much as simple as that. They ask a couple questions, usually takes about 15 minutes. Now, this way does cost money. There are ways to do this for free, but LegalZoom is the easiest in my opinion. It's probably $200-300. It varies by state and what package you get, but they do all the work and it's very quick. Now, the second thing you're gonna need is going to be an EIN. Now, an EIN is an employee identification number. You're gonna need this on Amazon no matter what, so you do have to have this. You can get this in about 2 minutes. It's completely free. And anyone can get this. Now, this is if you're selling in the US. So EIN, like I said, employee identification number. You go to their website, you literally fill in, I think it's 6 different boxes. You give them your social security and they'll give you an EIN, which again is an employee identification number, which is for tax purposes. And that is why Amazon asks for it as well. But you do need that when setting up your Amazon account. So you get that number. Now they're open weekdays, I believe just normal hours until 5 p.m. I think it's 6 or 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time. So you can get it emailed to you. Otherwise, it's still next day. And like I said, it's completely free. It's a government website. Now, step number 3 is you're going to need your business name, which if you created the LLC, sole proprietorship, you probably already have. But you want a store name as well. And yes, your store name that you want for Amazon should be the exact same as your business name. If it's not, then technically, if you have an LLC, you're not protected under that because you're operating under a different name. Now, there's also DBAs, which is doing business as, which we're not gonna go into, but you can operate under different names if you register it. So how are we gonna get a logo name? Usually for me, this is the hardest part. I'm not creative. I had to just think of random words and I'll throw random words together at the end of things. For me, if you look up different like Latin root words, Greek, Chinese, and maybe find one that fits you, that's what I've done for a couple of mine. Now logo, you can create this yourself. It can be very simple. You can get someone on Fiverr to do it, which is just a website. You can pay $5-10 for it. Or you can your logo can literally just be your name if you want of your business. So completely up to you. That is all of step 1. Step 2 is to create your Amazon account. Now, when you're doing this, this is probably a 10-15 minute process. They're gonna ask you a bunch of different questions about your business. So your name, your business address, your EIN, etc., bank account info. And when you're setting that up, you just go through, answer all the questions. It's very kind of self-explanatory with that. And after you do that, there are a couple settings you're gonna want to go into on Amazon and change in your account. Now, the video on screen right now, I had some settings already set, so mine were preset correctly, but you're gonna wanna go into a couple different settings. The first, all under settings, is the advertising charge method. Now this method is just how you're paying for ads if you're buying ads on Amazon. Now, originally, some of you might not see this until you create your first listing. Sometimes this setting is hidden. But once you do, this just changes how you are charged for advertising. Normally it's on credit card, that's by default. You can change it to your Amazon seller account as a default method. So instead of them charging your credit card as soon as you spend money, they take the money out of whatever profit they're paying you every 2 weeks. So you can wait an extra 2 weeks and that money will be taken out of what they're paying you back for your profit. So that's the first setting. The next setting is the labeling and the prepping. Now, who preps? Preps just means, is the product all the way prepared? Does Amazon have to do anything else with it? Is it in a plastic bag already? And the answer should be yes 99% of the time, depending on your supplier. Who labels? This is another setting. Just put Amazon for now. We'll explain that a little later. And the last setting is the inventory placement. Now, inventory placement What that is when you go and you are sending your inventory, again, this will make sense once we go all through the steps, but when you're sending your inventory into Amazon, they want you to send it to a couple different warehouses, which is difficult. It can cost more money from your supplier because of shipping. Now, if you go in and change this setting, you can send them all to the exact same warehouse. Now, there is a small fee for this, but it is gonna save you a lot of money on the shipping from your supplier. So once you have your Amazon account up, we're gonna move to step 3, which is the most important part of this, and that is product research. So why is this so important? This can make or break selling on Amazon. Finding the right product is everything, because if you find something that's too competitive, you're not gonna rank, you're not gonna be seen, it's not gonna sell, no matter how good your listing is and everything else. But if you choose the right product and you get ranked and put in front of the right people, even if you have a bad listing, you will still normally sell well. So what do we do for product research? So the first thing is I use a tool called Viral Launch. There's a bunch of different tools. They all kind of do similar things. There's Viral Launch, there's Jungle Scout, Amaze Scout, bunch of different ones. Viral Launch is my favorite right now. It's what I use. I use a combination of them all, but you only need one. What this is you can go use this tool to sort through Amazon's database of all their products, and you can put in certain filters. So I can say, I want all products that are selling over 200 units a month, but only have 20 reviews or have less than 100 reviews. This can be a lot more complicated, product research, and it goes very, very in-depth. This is by far, like I said, the most important, most detailed thing you're gonna learn about Amazon is product research. So instead of trying to fit all that into this video, I made a kind of checklist for you guys, which is at the very end of the PDF, which will walk you through step by step exactly what you need to do in order to find the right product to sell on Amazon. Now, I do also have other videos on that if you want to check them out, but let's get back to that checklist. If you download the PDF, which is the link in the description, you will get that. Now, let's say we found a product, the numbers look good, we used our checklist. We need to make sure the product's not seasonal. Now, what does that mean? Most of you know, seasonal. Does it sell only in summer? Is it a seasonal product? Now, how we can check this is a website called Camel. Now, what you do here is you go, you put either just the link to the Amazon product, you can even search products and it'll pull them up from Amazon's database. And what it does is it'll show you the price history and the sales history of the product. So it does this by sales rank. So the lower the sales rank, the higher the sales. The higher the sales rank, the lower the sales. So what you want to see when looking on Camel is a relatively steady line. Now, you can see different time periods at the bottom. And what you don't want to see is, let's say I've been selling for 2 years. You don't want to see them selling well and then it drops down from maybe September to January and then it comes back up and then same thing. If you see a pattern like that, it's probably seasonal. So we want to make sure it sells pretty consistently. One thing to watch out for though is if they run out of inventory, it will dip. So if it dips for less than a month, then it's not something I would worry about. Next, we need to make sure it's not a patented product. Now, you can do this. You can search different patent databases online. They're free, or you can talk to a professional. This is not something I'm going to kind of advise on, but you can do your own research on this. And then just make sure it's not a restricted product or category. There are some categories that require approval on Amazon, and there are some products you're not allowed to sell. A couple examples would be you can't sell a glass blunt or pipe. You can't sell growing lights for plants. You can't sell a lockpick set. There's a whole list of these on Amazon on the Seller Central page. If you just look up Amazon restricted products, they'll give you a list of everything and you can just check to make sure the product you found is not on there. After you do all that, you're gonna go and track the product and make sure the sales are staying consistent. Again, you can use a tool like Viral Launch. They have tools that do this. They have a ton of different ones on their site, which I'll leave a link to them in the description as well. But you track the product. You make sure it's selling well. Again, you can use Camel for this to make sure the sales are consistent, but you wanna make sure they didn't just spike up, sell well for a couple days and then drop down. So after step 3 is step 4, which is finding a supplier. Now, what you're gonna do here is you're gonna find multiple suppliers for your product on a website called Alibaba. Now, there's different websites. There's DHgate, there's Alibaba, there's some for the US. I mainly use DHgate and Alibaba. So if you're gonna start, probably use Alibaba. And what you're gonna do is just search your product name. And then you're gonna go through and you can filter and talk to a couple different suppliers. When you do the filters, you can filter them by trade assurance, which means if you buy a product and the supplier scams you or tries to not send you the product and takes your money, well, that was through Alibaba's trade assurance, so they'll get you that money back. It's pretty much a no risk. So you're gonna find and message a couple suppliers. Under their listings, you can see the product images, stuff about the product, about their company. Find a couple you like and go through and message them exactly what you want. Say, hey, I want this many units. I'm gonna send them into Amazon, blah, blah, blah. You can also ask them for a sample in that message and say, how much does it cost? Some send free samples. I just got a product sample about a month ago for one of my new products, and it cost me $40. It's about this big, probably weighs about a pound, and it was $40 for one unit. Now, of course, that's not gonna be the price if I buy more units, but just for a sample, just to test out the quality. If you use those filters, you talk to the supplier, you should be able to figure out if they're reputable. Are they someone you think you can trust? Do they speak English decently enough to communicate? How timely do they respond, which is very important. And next is MOQ. What's MOQ? That is the minimum order quantity, and you'll see this on different listings on Alibaba. And that just means you can't order less than this amount. Now, is this set in stone? No, this is always negotiable. I've had someone who had an MOQ of 1,000, so it means I had to order at least 1,000 units to even order from them, and I got them to drop it to 300 as a test order. So there's different techniques to go about talking about that. Next, shipping manufacturing time. So how long does it take to make? How long does it take to ship? Just things you should include when you're messaging your supplier. And then, do they accept PayPal or Alibaba Trade Assurance? PayPal, Alibaba Trade Assurance, both. If you get ripped off, you can file a dispute, get that money back. And lastly, can you put your logo on your product? You're gonna want to put your logo on your product. We are private labeling, means making products our own. So if I were selling those taco holders I was showing you guys, then I would want my logo either on the holder, on the box somewhere, so it is my product. So make sure that the supplier can do that as well. Now, step 5 is make sure it's profitable. There's no point in selling a product if you're gonna lose money every unit. So sometimes big and heavy products, the cost is too expensive. There's Amazon FBA fees, which are based off of weight and size. So I'm gonna use a tool called the Amazon FBA Calculator, which if you just type in Amazon FBA Calc into Google, it pops up. You can type in, it's kind of just like camel, camel, camel. You can type in any product, you can copy and paste the link, the ASIN, and it'll pull up that product. Now this is Amazon's tool. And you can plug in what you sell for. So if I want the selling price to be $17.99, and for this, we're gonna leave the spot with cost to ship as 0, because we're gonna include that in our product cost at the bottom, and we'll just put $3.50 here. And then I just click enter, and it'll pull up what my profit is, what my Amazon FBA fees are. Now, it's basing it off of other products like that, so you'll see the fee at the top. The first one is the referral fee from Amazon, and that is just 15% of the sale price. So $17.99 with 15%. Now, if you're selling cheaper products, it's $1 or 15% of the sale price, whichever is more. So keep that in mind. And next, you're gonna have the Amazon FBA fees, which is the cost for them, for Amazon to store, to pick and pack, and to ship out all your units. Since they're doing all of that for you, that's what FBA is. And then you'll be able to see your total profit at the bottom. So that's the Amazon FBA Calculator. You can play with different prices, see what your profit would be. And general rule of thumb is I like my at least 30% profit compared to your sales price. So for this one, you can see we're selling at $17.99, so $18. And my profit is $6.66, which is just about 30% profit margin, which I am fine with there. Now, step 6 is to create your listing. You're gonna need to create your title, your bullet points, your description. And I'll show you guys an example of a decent listing. Their bullet points aren't the best, title's okay, but it's all about the keywords. The bullet points are all about showing kind of the benefits and features, and the description is kind of just a total description of your product. So these images on this one are pretty good. They show the product being used. They show people actually interacting with it. Your first picture does have to be the product with just a blank white background of it, though. That is Amazon's terms of service. Sometimes you'll see ones that don't, but that is their rule. And when you're creating your listing, you're also going to have some keywords in the back end or search terms, and this is really important. There's different tools to do this. Viral Launch has a tool where you can search up keywords, and they'll show you the search volume based off of that exact keyword and also the broad search term for that. So they'll show you the volume of all of those, and that's usually how I go about selecting what keywords I want to use for my listing. Now, as far as images, you can get your images from your supplier, but make sure they did not take them from someone else. They actually took those pictures. And if you really want to be safe, you can send a sample of your product, just one unit, to a photographer, and you can normally get 6 to 10 pictures for $50 to $75. Now, these are professional pictures, and you can get them edited as well if you want just the white background. It's pretty simple to do. There's a lot of services online. You can use Fiverr. There's Amazon services just for this. I know Viral Launch has a service like that. So I'd search through Viral Launch and see if you were interested in any of those. Now, the next thing is we need a barcode. Now, a lot of people get confused with this. You need a barcode when you're creating your listing. Amazon asks for it. Now, where do you get a barcode? You can get a barcode from Barcode Mania. They are GS1 certified, which is what Amazon wants for them. I've used these barcodes and I've never had an issue. They're $5 each, or you can buy 5 for $10 if you know you're gonna sell more than one product. So you get that, you put that barcode number into your Amazon listing, and you are done with that barcode. That barcode does not go on your product. Now, what you do next is change your listing to Fulfilled by Amazon, which you can do under Actions in Seller Central. And once you do that, on that drop-down, there will be something where you can see Print Item Label. Now, what that is it's a different barcode with your title and your ASIN under it, and that is what is gonna go on your product's packaging. That is what you send to your supplier, and that's what goes on your packaging. A lot of people get that confused with the barcode. Barcode, you use the number, put it in your listing, you're done with that. You never use that again. This is now the barcode you use. Now, step number 7 is choosing your shipping. Now, this is where some people get confused. Do I do air shipping? Do I do sea shipping? There's a lot of shipping terms, customs and duties, blah, blah, blah. Package restrictions, weights, unit size, how many units can I send in? It can be very overwhelming. And the easiest way for me to put this is I'll put up a picture on the screen right now. You guys can pause the screen and it'll show you all the shipping terms, what they mean, who takes care of what. The easiest thing to do if you have a light and small product is do air shipping and do door to door. Now, what that means is if I were to do sea shipping, I'd have to go and take care of duties and customs, signing different paperwork, sending more money in, different things. Easiest thing is door-to-door shipping, or all duties paid, also called DDP. And that is just the easiest. You don't have to handle anything. It's straight from the supplier to Amazon's warehouse. You don't do anything. So that is as easy as I can make it. If you guys want to pause on the different terms, that can also help you. So air shipping, door-to-door, all duties paid, DDP. And sometimes they'll ask for a declared value. If it's over $2,000, there is a fee usually. So how much is the package worth? Just say under $2,000 unless you want it insured for more. Now, step 8 is create your shipping plan on Amazon. Now, what you're going to need from your supplier, you're gonna need some information. You're gonna need to know how many boxes are there, how many units per box, what is the weight of each box, and what is the dimensions of each box. You're gonna go in and enter that information into your shipping plan. You're going to you don't change the shipping carrier at all. You'll see on the side when you set it up, it'll ask like DHL, FedEx. You can just leave that how it is. You're going to print the item labels and send a supplier like we were talking about earlier. And then you're going to send one more thing to your supplier. So once you're done with the shipping plan at the end, you can click print box labels, and it is just the label that goes on the entire box. So the outside of the entire box that's holding all your units. And if there's one per box, so if you have 10 boxes, you're gonna have 10 of these. You're gonna email these to the supplier, and that's what they're gonna put on the top of the box. And in your shipping plan, that is how you get the address to send to your supplier to tell them where to ship it. This is just an Amazon warehouse. You do not get to choose what address. Amazon will assign you one in your shipping plan. Click mark as shipped, and you're done. And you can come back, edit it anytime. You can delete it, you can change it. So if you mess up, don't worry. Now, step number 9. This is the more advanced stuff, and this is gonna be to launch our product. So how are we gonna get sales? How are we gonna get started? Well, the first thing we need to do is get a couple of reviews. So how are we gonna do this? Well, reviews on Amazon can be tricky. There's verified reviews and unverified reviews. Now, verified just means the person purchased the product on Amazon for less than a 50% discount or just full price. Non-verified means they either didn't purchase the product, they purchased it at a heavy discount, etc. So does it matter which you have for ranking? There might be a slight ranking factor with it, but the overall consensus is no, it doesn't really matter. So when you're trying to launch your product, you need a couple reviews. So you don't want to go quickly with reviews. You don't want fake reviews, but you can ask friends to review your products, but sometimes reviews won't stay. Amazon knows if you're friends with someone on Facebook. So asking friends on Facebook isn't a good idea. They know the IP address of your computer. So if they see the seller account and you go ask your mom or your neighbor to review your product, they're not going to let that review stay, and you can risk kind of getting your account banned there. So there's different Facebook groups for this. There's services where you can give away some units and not ask for reviews. You cannot ask for reviews in exchange for a discounted product, but there's a lot of sites where you give away products and people will usually leave reviews. So there's different ones, like JumpSend is one of them. That is through Jungle Scout. Viral Launch has a launching service as well. There's different ways to go about it, but you need to start getting some sales, and giveaways look like sales to Amazon, and a couple of reviews to start kind of boosting your ranking. And I'd start PPC, which is just Amazon advertising, right away as soon as you get your first review. And that brings me to step 10, which is the last step, which is to advertise your product. So you can use that same keyword tool we used before in Viral Launch to create an Amazon PPC campaign, which is just bidding on different keywords to show up your listing. So if I can bid for 50 cents and show up on the first page, the first listing, paying 50 cents per click, that's great. That's like being ranked #1. You're just paying to be there a little bit. So you need to start with that. With Amazon advertising, I normally start with $10 a day. I start with broad match keywords, and I'll put in an automatic campaign. So manual, you can adjust whatever keywords you want. Automatic, it does a lot of keywords for you. Amazon automatically creates it and tests a bunch of different keywords. And the goal of this is to let it run for a week or two, pull that data, and we can look at that data and then optimize to only spend money on the keywords that aren't making us profit. So we get rid of all the bad ones, we go create a manual campaign with the good ones, and we let it run, and we consistently do that and optimize. So that brings me to the end. Now, what are you gonna be doing the entire time this is all happening? What do you do after that? Well, never stop optimizing your listing. If you wanna change things on your listing, if you can get better images, better bullet points, etc., do that. Same with your pay-per-click ads. Also, never run out of inventory. That's the worst thing you can do on Amazon. Your sales rank will start to drop. If you do it for a week, it's usually not too bad, but if you're out of inventory for like a month, it's gonna be hard to keep your rank because you're getting no sales in Amazon's eyes and you're gonna start dropping. So make sure you're replenishing your inventory. You can get it in time. You know, if the suppliers are having holidays, Chinese New Year's coming up, that's usually end of January, early February to the end of February. So they do take an extended break there. So make sure if you're selling already that you will get your inventory in time so you do not run out. Answer any customer messages. This is part of your seller account health, and you want customers to be happy. So you pretty much want to do anything to not get bad reviews. So make the customer happy, even if it means sending them a free product. It's usually worth it and not worth getting a bad review. And track your profits in an Excel sheet just to know if you're actually making money, where your money is, and whatnot. So I'm gonna leave a link where you guys can go download this 60-page PDF I created where it teaches you exactly how you can create your own Amazon business step by step. It's similar to this video, but it's a lot more in depth, and there's different strategies and more detail to it that can kind of take you further. So there's a link, you can download this completely free. It will be in the description, but this goes over a lot of what I talked about more in depth and kind of advanced other strategies I use, and will kind of just give you everything you need to get started. So I'll leave that link in the description for you guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.